Oh, you're a boy, right?
No, I'm a girl.
Who told you you were a girl?
Mommy.
When did she tell you you were a girl?
Because I love girls.
Oh, I see. So mommy told you you were a girl?
Uh-huh.
Was divorced a few years ago. When my child hit his third birthday, and this happened during the divorce, hit his third birthday, he started telling me that he was a girl. Mm-hmm. And I immediately pulled out my video and videotaped him and asked him, why do you think you're a girl? Mm-hmm. You can see this video at SaveJames.com. It's the first time I heard about this.
Okay.
And what happened was all of his authority figures, right? His mom, his sisters, his older sisters, his teacher, the policeman at school, the librarian, the principals, the lunch lady, all of his authority figures were telling him he was a girl, and I was the only one, and me and his priest were the only one telling him that he was a boy. And he really just didn't believe me. And she started reading to him books about Jazz Jennings.
Jazz is transgender, a boy living as a girl.
Why do we care if there's no father? I grew up without a father. I feel like I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. I'm in college. Why are we so towards the father? Why does he need to be there so much?
So just looking at, try to answer my question for me. Do you think, what kind of is there any time, and you're being very vulnerable, and I appreciate that, when you were growing up, and maybe not, where you said, I wish I had a dad around?
My mom says I did wish for that once, at a wishing well. But my mom was great. She supported me,
mom's a hero,
provided
for sure.
me.
No, I'm not. This is not a knock on single moms.
Right.
But was there ever a time maybe where a more masculine figure would have been helpful?
I can't really, not off the top of my head.
Okay.
Can you give me an example of
Yes.
when a masculine figure would be helpful in my life?
When a boyfriend might have broke up with you, and you didn't want to talk to your mom because she just didn't get it, and you wanted a strong, stable man to say you're beautiful.
If my father was like, you're beautiful, that'd be cool. But if my mom was also like, you're beautiful, I don't really see a difference between my mom saying it and my father saying it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I don't see the world that way, because there's being a father to a daughter, there's a very unique bond between a father and a daughter, where you fall in love again, but not romantic love. You fall in a different type of Greek love, which is called storge, which is a father-daughter love, where you have such affection for this incredible being, and your task is to shepherd that vulnerable, innocent girl through life all the way up until the marriage aisle, to kind of connect the two topics together, right?
Wow.
Where then you hand it off to another man, because women are worthy of protection.
So you're saying there has to be a man in the woman's life.
Not
the
has
woman
to.
can't be
Not-
alone.
No, there are exceptions, but it is a beautiful ideal. And when that ideal falls apart, now let's talk about the technical side. In the black community, when fathers are no longer around, crime goes up, poverty goes up, because you'll understand this less, and a man in the audience who grew up without a father will totally get this. If it's just a mom in the house, the dad should come in and discipline the 14-year-old for acting like a brat. The dad comes in and he says, stop doing this. You need to be able to outrank the 14-year-old brat with another masculine figure. We have a problem in black America. The biggest problem is not racism, it's the lack of dads. If dads are around, kids flourish. And you know who agreed with me? Barack Obama. Barack Obama used to make this a central piece of his campaign. He came to this campus back in 2012, drew like a 100,000 person crowd, and talked about how we need to rebuild the black family and put dads back. Why doesn't the Democrat Party talk about that anymore?
I'm fine with having fathers. I'm not against having black dads.
For sure. I'm saying, but don't we agree? Has anyone heard that mentioned on the national scale in the last 10 years? Yeah, I mean, we've heard about
Probably not.
Yeah, and
Because there's bigger issues.
No, there isn't. See, that's the issue, is that this is what makes us different. As a conservative, I focus on, if you have family breakdown, don't worry about climate change, don't worry about systemic racism. All that stuff is like these crazy abstractions.
What do you think create family problems? Systemic racism creates family problems. If you take away black people from their families, then they're going to have broken families.
Okay, but that's interesting. How are you taking them away? Aren't they leaving?
What's truly insane is that many in today's generation are now proudly defending the very breakdown that's destroying them. Can you imagine? We are witnessing a generation that's angry, that's anxious, that's unstable. But rather for them to ask for help or to say, where did we get it wrong? Do you know what they're doing? They're actually doubling down on the dysfunction. That is said, they glorify celebrities as role models. That's the culture now. Celebrities, they're so obsessed with them. Some, they even call them idols. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? It's a generation that has embraced emotional pain as identity. You see? And they've traded wisdom for ideological self-righteousness. What a pity. What a pity, ladies and gentlemen.
They're not staying with the women they're impregnating. So, for example, there 13% of the population is black. Not every single person ends up in jail, obviously. And yet there's huge child abandonment because there's a cultural expectation that is different in black America than in white America, which is it's okay to impregnate a woman and abandon her in black America. It's not
based on what? What is that based on?
That's a good question. Where does it come from? It's just based on...
No, I'm saying what is that, like, your view of black America?
Well, it's not a view. It's true. I mean, don't take my word for it. Look at Thomas Sowell and Shelby Steele that have done amazing analysis on this. It's that in black culture, that is not considered to be a stigma. In white upper middle class culture, for those of you that grew up in Waukesha or Libertyville or grew up in Hinsdale or grew up in Naperville, you guys all know those neighborhoods. If you impregnate a girl, a woman, and you just like abandon her, that's frowned upon. That is a social stigma in upper middle class white culture.
And it's not in black culture?
No. In fact, it's glorified by the rap culture. It is.
I think
Yes.
rap culture is showing what happened. I don't think it's.
Do you think that the songs that are the most popular in Black America are uplifting Black America to be better versions of themselves?
I think the most popular
like Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. Do you think that they're like empowering people to be great?
Well, I do think Cardi B and Nicki Minaj are empowering. But when you talk about like
wow,
black, like let's go like Kendrick or whatever, like. They're talking about their life experiences, and they're saying, this is what happened to me, and people relate to that because that's also what happened to them. It's not saying this is the greatest thing in the entire world.
Does it lift up the audience to become better?
I would think so, because it's like...
How?
Because it's saying we all relate to this. We can all, like, this is our story. We can be, like, better than this, even though it's, like, I mean, there's better, there's not better. It depends on what your worldview is, but I think that rap is good because it can like...
No, I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm saying like just the essence, the core, the ethos is not exactly about like quitting drinking, quitting drugs, and getting married and having children.
No, it's about what you have done, not about like...
No, but just like to be clear, like in black rap culture, is it generally glorified to go sleep with a lot of women?
I mean, that's your view of it.
I'm asking a question. Is it in black rap culture?
I
yes or no, guys, in black rap culture?
Is glorify women?
To be able to sleep with a lot of women.
I mean, I think that's one aspect, yeah.
Okay, so let's just take that aspect.
Because it's a luxury that people can do. And, like, it's one of the things that people can do and everyone can relate to. Or a lot of people can relate to.
Shouldn't ideally your culture try to elevate and try to challenge the individual to virtue and goodness, not try to bring them down to the lowest parts of their...
I'm not saying that they are bringing them down. I'm saying that this is what they are doing, and they are sharing their experiences. They're not saying, this is the best thing in the entire world. They're saying, this is what I have been through.
Like sleeping with a lot of women.
Yeah.
Or like gang violence and, you know...
I mean, if that's what, like, a lot of people have been through gang violence because that's what's happening in their neighborhoods. They feel like that's the only option. And you might know that that's not the only option, but when you are living in that neighborhood and you don't see any jobs, this is how your family was raising you, what other option do you have? And once you're in it, it's really hard to get out.
So, got it. You talk about systemic racism and that being a major driver of... Black America's failure to launch, if you will. We subsidize single motherhood in this country. So if you stay single as a single mother, you get money from the federal government, and it's basically subsidized, if you will.
Sure.
Can we at least agree that if the nuclear family in Black America was stronger and tighter knit, that would be a good thing?
In a lot of cases, yeah. I think if the father's abusive, I would not want him there. So I think it really depends on like what family you're talking about. I don't think you can generalize.
What
and
percentage
say,
of fathers do you think are abusive?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I would say it's probably small, right?
Not like I don't know. I have no idea. I have not done research on
Yeah,
what
no, I don't know
percentage
either,
of fathers.
but
are
generally,
abusive.
it's good when mom and dad stays around and is raising the kid.
I would say if they are both healthy parents and they are both ready to have a child, it's great.
Got it.
My father, not ready to have a child, do not want him around
just
me.
one last question on role models. Let's say there's a black kid right now. Would you rather have that black kid have a role model be Kendrick Lamar or Clarence Thomas?
Kendrick, obviously.
So not the black American on the United States Supreme Court.
No, he's trying to ban interracial marriage. He's trying to like do all.
Wow, no, he's in an interracial marriage.
He literally like.
He's married to a white woman.
Yeah, I know the Roe v. Wade
So
thing like goes against.
He's trying to ban his own marriage.
Yes.
I thought I've
I'm
heard
sorry to break
everything.
it to you, but like the Roe
Wait,
v.
hold on.
Wade.
So just to be clear, that's fine. This is the difference in worldview. We have clarity but not agreement. You'd rather have Kendrick Lamar, who sleeps around with everything that moves.
who is a poet who won a Nobel Prize, who...
Right, no, versus Clarence Thomas, who grew up in the antebellum South, who's a U.S. Supreme Court justice, one of the smartest people ever to serve on the Supreme Court as a black American. And that's the difference, is that we as conservatives think that Clarence Thomas is a far better role model for black America than just some rapper.
I think calling Kendrick some rapper is very dismissive and to all the work he's done with the black community. But okay, that's your opinion, yeah.
So we agree that there should be better role models, maybe?
When have I ever said that there should not be? I'm agreeing with you that there should be fathers if they are
I know,
right
it's
for
fine.
that thing. We're agreeing. I
And
think,
last question, you're voting for Kamala, I'm guessing?
how can you tell? Yeah.
Okay, what's her
Obviously.
greatest accomplishment?
Probably capping capping the insulin at $35.
She did that. Yeah. What else?
I mean, you said her greatest. I'm just saying, like, that's the thing that goes off the top of my mind is like, big pharma. I'm sure you're anti-big pharma.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why all the pharmaceutical companies are donating to her. That's right. So,
Psalm 68 verse 5. It calls God a father of the fatherless, a defender of widows. While earthly fathers may fail, God never fails. God never fails. He restores. He heals. He never turns his back on anyone. He never does that. And he's actually calling today's generation. He's actually calling today's generation for us to not be rebellious, but to be sincere, to be humble. Because God resists the proud. He resists those who are rebellious. He honors those who are humble. He honors them. Yes, and the enemy knows that if you destroy the family, guess what happens? You destabilize the future. The future becomes shaky, but God's design still stands, ladies and gentlemen, and it starts with fathers standing up again. Yes, let's make our families great again. Absolutely. And the sad thing is that this lady, she doesn't know what she's missing. And that's the problem. Because she doesn't get it. That is the problem. Yeah. Because a father and a daughter relationship, it can never be replicated by a woman. And mind you, I am not saying mothers are not important. Of course they are. But what I'm saying is, that when the mothers are there and they do provide those roles that they do provide, and also when the fathers are there and they also do the same thing, it will be a blessed family. It will be a blessed family. Literally. The moral leadership, the discipline, the wisdom that the fathers provide when they are in the family, that should not be traded for God, ladies and gentlemen. It should not be traded for God. Literally. And it's actually sad because this lady, though a student, she's clueless on this one. She's clueless on this one. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the breakdown of the family is the root cause of societal problems. That's where it starts. The enemy is not naive. He knows that if he can target the family, he will win in whatever, shenanigans he wants to achieve. He will win. And it's actually sad because this lady, she seems not to understand. She seems not to understand. And I do commend Charlie, his graciousness, because of the patience, dealing with people like this. Sometimes it's not easy. It's not easy. It can be so upsetting when you are, trying to engage in conversation with some of the people who are just clueless, who just, blatantly don't want to listen to you. You see, pretty much all they want to do is just hear themselves speak. And it's sad. All I can say is, Lord, help us. Help us. Because the sad thing is that this lady someday should also be a mama. And usually when you raise a kid with the wrong mindset and the wrong perceptions and ideas, it usually replicates itself, It replicates itself. I think maybe she was hurt. Probably she just, maybe she's choosing not to acknowledge it. And I do wish you well. You see, the Bible says, turn to me and I'll give you rest. All of you who are heavy laden, who are full of sorrow, I will give you rest. And he does give us rest. I believe with Charlie, he's absolutely right. A man in a kid's life is very important, ladies and gentlemen. It's very, very important. It's very important. And it's actually said that this lady here, I think she's just after, she's desperately trying to win the argument and not really paying attention. She's desperately trying to win the argument, or maybe seem smarter. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, fathers who are led by God provide the balance to the entire family. They do. Never let anybody deceive you. They do. It's ironic how a feminist believes that a man cannot have, what some of them say, they cannot have an opinion in a woman's right, in the woman's rights. No. It's crazy. We need fathers who are led by God. They provide the balance in the family. They do. And it's my greatest desire that someday this lady will come to know the Lord, come to know Christ, and lead a peaceable life, one that's full of fulfillment and glory. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, be sure to watch the next one. I will see you again next time. Bye bye for now.